Good to see you. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Mark. Thanks for having me. I'm doing well, thanks.
Okay, so read between the lines for us in terms of what Huang is saying and also why you think that these comments are somewhat self-serving as well.
Well, it is a very interesting comment, and obviously Jensen is a very intelligent individual who's built an amazing company. But there are certain areas I think that he has a vested interest in quantum specifically taking longer to develop. And we think over time if there's an opportunity or a potential for quantum to take some of the share that GPUs are currently established in. And so it makes sense that he would have this longer term view. We also think that some of this is maybe not quite understanding the progress, the pace of acceleration that we've seen in quantum, and we think we're actually much further along than what he may suggest. But in addition to that, I think there's a lot of use cases where current capabilities can generate real value in the market and is legitimate in terms of the valuation or investment side, and that over time that will continue to play out. And we would agree that it does take maybe several years to get to the fully or the perfect quantum computing, as he suggests, but certainly still a lot of opportunity ahead of that.
You've got a few names for us that we'll get to in just a moment, but we know that Google a few weeks ago said they made a breakthrough with an AI chip called a Willow. Then we saw this huge hype cycle, temporary, apparently, based on what we're seeing today, and a bit of a mania as people looked for quantum computing stocks. So the plunge we're seeing in the stocks we showed earlier today, is it warranted or is it overdone?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of factors that are playing in here, and you could argue that it is overdone in terms of the downside. But we've clearly seen a lot of momentum that have come into these names. We think that is partially driven by a rotation out of the larger, more primary AI names, as we like to say, like the NVIDIAs of the world, and into more emerging and smaller tech and areas that are more enabling for AI. And that's what we've really seen. And then as we've seen quantum continue to gain that momentum, I think that has just buying has begat buying. And we've seen this momentum continue into the shares here. And so we think longer term, we absolutely like the investment opportunity in quantum. We think that it could be might have gotten a little ahead of itself just on the momentum over the last several months, especially since Google's announcement. But we still think the longer term is very much intact.
All right, let's get to some of these names that you like here, including IonQ. You recently raised the target price. So what did they do exactly?
IonQ is interesting. They were the first to market, have historically had the strongest balance sheet, and has gained really the biggest mind share, at least on the investment side, because of that first to market opportunity. They've continued to develop the platform itself to quantum computing, and they do have a different approach. It's an ion trap, and each one of these approaches are slightly unique and different. They have different challenges amongst each one of them, but they've made some tremendous progress and have continued to build out that ecosystem and as well as scale up their systems. And they're expecting to release their 64 AQ system, or algorithmic qubit, next year, or excuse me, this year, which they expect will achieve quantum advantage to some degree, at least on the commercial front.
Okay, and then D-Wave Quantum. This is another one you raise the target price on them. And remind me, are the roots of this company Canadian? I'm trying to recall.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Good,
okay.
Good to remember that. Yes, D-Wave is Canadian in Vancouver, and we actually caught up with the company this morning, and just to get their ideas, their thoughts on this conversation, and it was very interesting, very much aligned with what our thoughts were as well. So we appreciate Alan jumping on this morning with us. The annealing approach is quite different than what the gate-based systems, which is what IonQ deploys. Annealing is different in just the approach and how it works. And so D-Wave today, they're at about 5,000 qubits. They have applications that are in deployment today, which means they're actually generating real value for customers, and they're receiving revenue from that. And so we can already see that these systems are providing that, and that is really the best use case in our mind, in the validation of quantum computing and its potential is can you generate real value, and then do your customers, do they appreciate that value, and will they pay you for it? And D-Wave has certainly proven that.
All right, the other name is Rigetti Computing. This seems to get a little more buzz than some of the others. That name is familiar. What about this one?
Yeah, I think Rigetti is doing a fantastic job as well. They had a bit of a setback not long after they became public, but they've got a new CEO in place that has been very transparent in their march to their scaling their system. And really, they have focused more on fidelity, which means just making each qubit higher quality, and have sacrificed really the scalability or the scaling of their platform in the meantime. However, they've recently really gotten their fidelity where they wanted it, and now they're working on scaling that architecture. And we think their architecture is actually one of the better gate-based systems for scalability because of just their approach. They have that ironed out pretty well, we think, and so they can scale that technology very, very quickly. However, because they've been focused on the fidelity side, you haven't heard the same cadence of progress, although it has been developing, just hasn't been as in the news.
We've been looking at these charts, David, and a lot of them had been doing nothing for the longest time. Then they explode. Then they get cut in half today. So clearly these aren't for the faint of heart. What do you say about the risk reward and how investors may want to approach these kinds of stocks?
Well, I think you have to use a bit of common investment strategy as you look at these stocks, and they each have their own distinct advantages and capabilities and where they are in the maturation cycle. I think it's very much an investable space, and previously it was challenging to become investable, at least on the institutional side. But there is some volatility there, and that's to be expected. We're not pre-revenue, but we're very close to pre-revenue in terms of the value that they've created so far, and we are still proving this technology out. You have a world of industry full of more bullish and more bearish folks. And so because that bearish mentality sometimes sneaks in here, you create this downside. And obviously Jensen has a very large stage, and as a visionary, he's very credible, but it tends to carry more weight. But it doesn't change anything about the industry from our perspective, the investment strategy. To have one more naysayer in the group, it doesn't change anything for us. And we continue to see it. And really, it's the proof is in the pudding, as they say. And we continue to see this advancement of the architectures.
Okay, David, thanks for shedding some light on quantum computing stocks today. We hope to have you back at some point.
Absolutely. Thank you.
David Williams.